why do you think volunteering and doing service-based work is so important for our young adults and for our young generation, especially with everything that's going on right now with the pandemic?
See and as you know, as heartfulness trainers, we also get to work with so many people to help them with their meditation sessions. And I think that one day this thought had occurred to me that what is so unique about the work we do? You know, not every time you get to build a house for someone or feed people and all, but we are sitting here and giving a meditation session, conducting a meditation session for somebody. I felt the biggest thing, which is common across all these different service opportunities or service projects, is that it takes you away from thinking about yourself to thinking about others. You know, early days of my childhood, I remember getting up in the morning and my grandparents around me, and I'm just some memories of that time, and they'll always be talking about the food and what is there for lunch and dinner and this and that. And here we get up and we talk about whom we have to give session today, right? And let's see if we could conduct more of these with some more people, or can do some for school from some corporation. So I think our life, or and I'm so glad when you mentioned about high school, because that is the founding time for all of you to get that sense that there is more to life than just your life. And you will find that many psychologists have said that most of the mental health problems, which is really rampant now among youth, right? Not just that adults don't have it, but especially among youth, right? And that is mainly because today's the digital world has made us more focused on ourselves. We're more focused on how many likes we get and how many this we get or that we get. So that keeps our attention more on ourselves rather than others. I think if the strong base of volunteering in high school, it's a wonderful thing. Everyone must do.
I'm really glad that it was something that I did so copiously when I was in high school. It was at first something that my parents really pushed me to do, but then more and more it became something that I loved to do. And I think the most critical value that it taught me was this concept of empathy, which is much needed at any point in time, in any point in life. And I think that really builds into this concept of an ecosystem of service, which is something that's been talked a lot over the last couple of days. I look at this concept as a method to create community through service and compassion. How would you define it?
That's a wonderful way to describe it. And I just remembered a shloka from Gita. I don't know how many I know in US is we are not taught Gita, but there's a Indian book. It's called Gita, Bhagavad Gita, right? And there's Lord Krishna there. It's a wonderful shloka. I like to quote that. I don't know Sanskrit very well, but it is. I'll just translate that in English. He said, "There is no one who can remain without action even for a moment. Indeed, all beings are compelled to act by their qualities born of material nature." I'll read it again. There is no one who can remain without action even for a moment. Even Lord Krishna acknowledges that our minds are very active. So we have to do something. We have to act. That is our nature. All beings are compelled to act by their qualities born of material nature. So we all have certain qualities in each one of us. And with those qualities, if we contribute to this ecosystem of service, right, I think this world will become a much better place. To me, a lot has been talked about ecosystem of startups. I mean, I think if you read my bios, I have done 3-4 startups when I was you guys age, and now I advise many startups. And we talk a lot about startup ecosystem. You have the funding, you have the idea, you have the execution, you have this, you have a lawyer, you have a CPA, a patent lawyer, and all that. And we normally, as part of our advice, we put all that together. To me, in service now, there is a greater need than ever for an ecosystem of service where You have, again, similar to that, a new value system as the highest thing. A new value system is very important, where you can trust each other. It's opposite of startup. In startup, we say, at least now, I feel that even that is changing now, but that is topic for another webcast or something. But the time when we used to do it, used to be cutthroat competition between the founder of startups. But I find in the ecosystem of service, there is, what we need is brotherhood, a high level of trust, and a common pool of resources that people can draw upon, opportunities, funding, right? With and willingness to help each other. Like through this youth 2.0, I was associated talking to some youth earlier, and what I learned was how various NGOs came forward to assist in organizing this in just very short period of time. I mean, it was all organized in 2-3 days, and mainly because they had a trust, and they saw the potential in being able to help, because only through helping we will all grow. And I think at the end of it, if we all realize that main purpose of all this is not that what we have gained for ourselves, but how much we have given to others. And that, if that motto remains, I think this ecosystem will thrive. To me, from a transactional based ecosystem, which is there in startups, that I also am part of, that's my day job, to a transformational ecosystem. That's how I would like to summarize it.
That is a beautiful response. Thank you for